Hello everybody and welcome to Montreal Smoked Meat Jakarta. Oh, it's all trimmed up and everything, got all the fat off of it. There's quite a bit on that one. We're gonna burn it, we're just gonna let it sweat. This is our pickled spices. There's a lot of different spices in here, like about 8 or 9. So we'll put this in. And now we're gonna stir this all around. Thanks, it's starting to burn. Stir, 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 get everything all mixed. Hello everybody and welcome to Montreal Smoked Meat Jakarta. Today we're going to start a series of videos that we're going to take you along the path on how we get our meat prepared. So today is actually the first step. I got one brisket ready to go. It's all trimmed up and everything, got all the fat off of it. There's quite a bit on that one. We're going to start by frying up our spices and get the brine ready. Alright, this is a mixture of 1 onion and 10 olive garlic cloves. So we're going to put it in here, and then we're going to put 1 tablespoon of dried juniper berries. And we're not going to burn it, we're just going to let it sweat. And I think my wife, we have to get the water prepared, so after this we're going to put 4 liters of water in it. Okay, so before we put the water in, this is our pickled spices. There's a lot of different spices in here, like about 8 or 9. Ginger powder, red chili peppers, cinnamon sticks, nutmeg, bay leaves, and so on. There's also some cloves, there's some fennel seed. Anyways, you get the drift. If anybody needs the recipe, please get a hold of me, I'll give it to you, no problem. So we'll put this in, and now we're going to stir this all around. Brown it up a little bit so it starts to smoke and smells absolutely beautiful. Oh, and there's Anna Star in here. There's black pepper, mustard seeds, and coriander. Okay, now we're going to put the water in because it's starting to burn. So it's 4 liters of water. Okay, now we're going to heat that up. Stir, 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 get everything all mixed up in there. Okay, we got this going, stirring, and we're heating it up. We bring it almost to a boil. So now, to prepare, we have 1 cup of salt. We have 1 cup of sugar. And then we're going to put our curing salt in, Prague powder number 1. This actually gives us the redness in the meat, and it's a curing salt. So we put 4 teaspoons, flat teaspoons of the curing salt. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we got 200 millimeters of honey. Bring that up almost to a boil. Okay, here's our brine bucket, 1 of them. We're going to take this bucket and we're going to put the brisket in the bucket. Welcome back. Now we've got this all stirred up and we're doing the finger test. It's just about at a boil, it's very hot. So at this point we're going to turn the burner off and we're going to put about 4 liters of ice in it to cool it off. Last thing you want to do is put your brisket in a hot water brine and it'll just end up cooking before you even get it in the fridge. So you want it nice and cool, your brine. You put the ice in and you wait till it melts, and then we're going to take it over to the bucket and put it inside the bucket on top of the brisket. The ice is all melted and our brine is cool. We're bringing it over to the brisket bucket, the brine bucket, and you're going to pour it all inside. Now I'm just going to move the brisket around a little bit. Alright, now we're going to put it in the fridge. Oh, before we do that, sometimes your brisket is going to float to the top, so you got to make sure that the brisket is completely submerged in the water. You don't want the meat to go bad on you. There's no meat should be sticking out of the water. It should all be submerged underneath the water. So once I use plates, you can use anything you want as long as it weighs the brisket down. Okay, now we're going to put it in the fridge. Don't have to cover it. Okay, now that we got it in the fridge, we're going to leave it in here for 10 days in the brine. The pickling spice, you can make the pickling spice any way you want. You can put your own flavoring in. It all depends on the desired taste that you want at the end result. So you can do, you can get put a bunch of different things that you want, onion powder, garlic powder. A few of these are the things that I don't use, but you can. All right, so now in 10 more days, we'll see you then, and we'll do the cooking process, the smoking process. Thank you. Bye-bye. Welcome back, everybody. Now that the meat has been in the brine, we've taken it out of the brine, and now we're going to wash it and wash all the salt off of it. You got to make sure you wash it 2 or 3 times to get all the salt and all the stuff off of it, and we're going to get it ready for the smoker. Stay tuned. Okay, now we got this washed. We're gonna bring it over to the towel. It's nice and red. Nice piece of meat. They're not always so nice. This one's really nice. So the next thing is you want to pat it all down and get all the moisture out, or as much moisture as you can, out of the meat. That's why I use a towel, because it's a lot easier.
Clean towel.
Yep, clean towel, of course. Okay, then flip it over. A beef towel. I only use it for the beef. So I'm trying to get as much moisture out of it as I can. So once that's done, we need to trim it. So when you trim it, you got to find all the hard fat, like this one here, which the hard fat will not render when in the cooking process, so you have to take it out. So this is the fat that I mean. It's very hard, and you have to take it off. And this is very soft. You want this fat to stay on, because that's what gives it its juice. There's quite a bit on here, so we're going to take some off. Leave a nice little layer of fat on there. It's pretty hard. This fat will not render in the cooking process. We need to take it off. See, that's very hard fat, and it just won't break down. We have this silver skin, and we want to take that off. That allows all the spices and the flavors to go inside the meat during the cooking process. So just pull on it gently, rub a knife on it, and it just cuts off nicely. The trimming process is now done. Now we're going to get to the seasoning part. Again, we're going to try to pat it down some more. When you've done that, to finish it off, you grab some paper towel and you pat it down with the paper towel, just to get into all the crevices and get as much moisture out as you can. Seasoning, thank you, honey. What would I do without you? We're going to grab 2 trays so we don't lose all the seasoning on the table. And put them in the trays. Get them ready for... Okay, and the towel's done. Okay, at this point we're going to get the smoker ready before we do our spices. So first put the amount of wood that you're going to use in your tray. That should be enough. You want to soak the wood for about 15-20 minutes in water so it smokes better instead of just burn. So we're going to put it in water. So we'll leave that in here for about 15-20 minutes while we get the spices going. So in the meantime, you want to get your smoker ready to go. So we're going to start the smoker. Now, this brisket is very big. We're not going to be able to cook it whole. We're going to have to cut this one in half, which is okay. There's no problem. Actually, it's probably a better way of cooking it. Anyway, so we'll cut the flat off, which is this piece here. It'll be one piece, and the point will be a second piece. So that's about right in the middle. So we're going to cut this in half. Okay, so now that that's cut, we'll put another basket here. Now we're going to start doing the seasoning. First thing we do is we use mustard. We use it as a binder, so all the seasoning sticks to the meat. Honey mustard. So you put it on. Okay, once you got the mustard on, you want to spread it all over the beef. You want to do on the sides, because you got to coat the sides with seasoning. Make sure you get it all covered. Go into the meat to stick to the meat. Okay, the next step is I have a mixture here of toasted black pepper and coriander seeds with paprika. So you have to toast this and then you have to crush them. And that's what we use for the bark. So what you do here is you put it on and you start spreading it on the beef. Make sure you get it on everywhere generously. You even have to get it on the sides. Now we got all this side covered. So we press on this, get it all nice and hard, crusty. And then we're going to flip it over. And then we're just about ready for the cooking process. And we're going to flip this one over. Okay, now we do the same. Now we got the mustard on this side, and we're going to spread it even on the whole brisket. So I'm spreading it everywhere here. Last piece. So now we're going to spread and make sure you get it everywhere. This will form a beautiful bark in the smoker. It'll come out nice and dark, and that's how you get your burnt ends. For the smoker. Okay, we're going to drain the wood. Okay, and put the wood in its tray. Spread it out evenly. This is going to go in the smoker with the meat. Now we got this thing called the meter. The meter is a meat thermostat that we stick in the meat to follow the temperature of the meat. You want to bring it to an internal temperature, 195 to 200. So with this meter, where I can check all the temperatures on my phone, you want to find the thickest part of the meat, and you want to go in sideways, okay? If you go in this way, you're not gonna get the true temperature of the meat. So you got to go in sideways, and you have to push it all the way in. Okay. Now that it's all the way in, we're going to be able to do the meat cut. The temperature, we're going to be able to follow the temperature now. So, now we got to get it on the rack. Okay, there's one. Second piece on the rack. And we're going to take this away, and we're going to put the third one on the rack. Time to go in the smoker. The smoker has been heating up and it's ready to go. So the one with the thermometer inside, we want to try to keep that in the middle. So we're going to put that right on this rack. Okay, closest on the bottom. Then we put the tray of wood inside. And voila, we are cooking. This is going to take anywhere from 5 to 8 hours. You have to make sure you watch the temperature and everything else. And I'm going to show you how we do that. Okay, so you get it on the phone. We got an app on here for the meter, it says. And then you set up a cook. So, set up a cook. We're doing beef. We're doing brisket. And we're looking for a temperature of 200. So we keep it in there till 200. This app shows you the internal temperature, what you're trying to get at, the internal temperature that you're trying to get as a target, and the heat of the smoker. So it's all on the app. Anyways, thank you very much. We'll see you when the cook is finished. Hello everybody. I just wanted to let you know the smell in my backyard is absolutely fantastic. Just like you smell a steak, the restaurant cooking a steak when you're driving down the road and you're wondering where that smell's coming from. That's how this smells. So anyways, we're about 3/4 of the way through the cook. I'm gonna open it up and I'm gonna show you what our meat looks like right now. Look at that. Look at that bark. Look at all the smoke. Smoking real nice. That's going to be a beautiful black, dark bark. Anyways, we're about 3/4 of the way through. We will come back when it's done and ready to take out. Okay guys, I closed it up now, so I will see you back here when the cook is finished. It might be between another hour or 2 hours, so be patient and you're gonna see a beautiful piece of meat. Welcome back everybody. As you can see, it's turned dark. It's nighttime now, but we've reached our first goal of 155 internal temperature, Fahrenheit that is. So we're gonna take the meat out now. Wow, look at that smoke. I'm gonna take out one by one. Just put it on the tray right away. Okay, now we're gonna take the other one out. And we're putting them over here and we're gonna take the other piece out. This just looks absolutely delicious and it smells fantastic. Okay, so we're gonna go inside now where there's more lighting and we'll do the next step. Now we're in the kitchen. So look at this meat. Look at the burnt ends on it. That looks so delicious. Everywhere. So now what the next step is, look how red that meat is there. That's gonna be just so juicy inside. Okay, the next step now is you want to get it up to the temperature of 195 internal temperature. So what you have to do is wrap it in thick foil, aluminum foil. Make sure you don't rip the bottom, because what it needs to do now is go back on the smoker in the foil and you need to cook it to 195. Once it gets to 195, you need to maintain that temperature for another 2 hours so the beef cooks in its own juice and it will be very tender. And why you do that is because you want to make sure that all the meat is, muscles are tendered down and the fat is all broken down, so it's not elasticy when you pull. And when you actually pull it, it should just come apart. So we're gonna let it rest for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then we're gonna put it in foil and it goes back in the smoker. So we'll see you in a bit. Welcome back everybody. Okay, now that the briskets are fully cooked, it's the next stage is slicing them. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you what we do. We're gonna take the burnt ends off. So we're gonna cut off all the burnt ends. All the way around. As you can see, we're cutting off all the burnt ends. And these will be packaged up and sold as well. They're very delicious. Okay, so the brisket's half frozen because that way we can slice it thin. So this is going to be our taste test. Even very cold and half frozen is delicious. Okay, we got the slicer out. We're going to do a couple test slices to see how the thickness of what we're looking for. Brisket on the slicer. And we're going to try one slice. That's kind of thin, so we're going to go a little bit thick. There we go. And now we're just going to slice it. We're going to cut them a little bit thicker this time. This is the point of the brisket. It's not the flat, so a little more juicier because it carries a little bit more fat. It makes a very nice, tasty sandwich. So after we finish slicing them all up, there's 4 briskets all together I'm slicing today. We're going to vacuum pack them. For now, I'll see you back after we got it all cut. Okay, we're halfway through the slicing process, and this is actually flat, nice and red. Very, very soft. It's still frozen, but it just pulls apart. Very good. So we're going to slice up the other 2 and we'll come back soon. Thanks. Okay, I finished the cutting process, and as you can see, we got a ton of beef here that we have to package. So we're going to get to the process of packaging now. But this is about 3 briskets, if not more. And those are our burnt ends. These are all our burnt ends. These, in my opinion, are the most delicious part of the whole thing. Some people like them, some people don't, but I love them. Anyways, so we're going to set up the weighing station and the packaging station. So when we got all that set up, we'll be right back. Thanks.